And by the way, this is where I think we really have struggled, and we have to start doing better, is we have struggled to win the linguistic argument. And language is very important in the way we communicate about these issues. The progressive woke ideas are constantly presented by those people who advocate them as being about compassion and empathy. And we have to start winning the argument on their terms and saying, there is nothing compassionate about impoverishing our children and grandchildren. There is nothing compassionate about middle-class posh people driving into London or taking trains into London to glue themselves to roads to stop working-class people getting to the job that pays for their children to have food on the table. There's nothing empathetic or compassionate about impoverishing poor people around the world so that we can feel good about the fact that we've reduced Britain's global carbon emissions percentage from 2% to 1% or even to 0. There's nothing compassionate about that. It's not empathetic. It's a religion that is demanding things of us that make no sense. It's a sort of Aztec human sacrifice almost in the way that they're approaching these things. It makes no sense. And increasingly the public is starting to understand that that's what's happening. People need to strap on a pair. They really do. I mean, look, yes, cancel culture is a problem and has been, but also we've got to a point where I feel like we have enough new media organizations like mine and enough various groups and things that, you know, if you get cancelled, it's not really that bad anymore. Yeah. You might even do quite well out of it, frankly. So we need more people to be courageous, to realize that you've only got one life and there's no point living it in fear. There's no point cowering. There's no point bending the knee to people with whom you disagree. And we as citizens actually have to stop punishing people who speak the truth. This has been happening for a long time. The moment anyone in politics says something that most people know to be true, all it takes is for The Guardian or some other left-wing paper to run some headlines, and everybody suddenly is bending over backwards, pretending that they're horrified by, you know, somebody who said something. Normal people need to say enough, and they need to vote for people who are speaking the truth and to reward people for speaking the truth. And the more that happens, the more people will be incentivized. I mean, you know, there's people who respond to incentives. If we incentivize truth speaking, if we incentivize people making difficult decisions, I mean, the deficit, which we just talked about, is a very good example of this. The moment anyone attempts to cut our spending, they're immediately told that they are being cold and callous and cruel. And we have to win that argument. It is not cold and callous and cruel to consider the interests of our children and grandchildren over reducing our spending by 1%. I understand that has a negative impact on people. I really do. But we have been living beyond our means. And the person who comes along and tells us that unapologetically, they will have the majority of the country behind them.